Every neighborhood has a story, most are ordinary. Some hide secrets no one sees coming. This is the true story of a marriage that appeared perfect on the outside, but behind closed doors, a deadly deception had already begun. Before we begin, if you enjoy true crime documentaries based on real cases, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you never miss news stories. Okay, let's dive in today's story. On the quiet streets of Old Basford, Nottingham, neighbours believed they were watching the beginning of a happy marriage. A 44-year-old woman had recently married the man she loved. Soon afterward, the newlyweds were said to have left the United Kingdom to travel the world together. Friends received cheerful emails describing new adventures. Everything seemed normal. But there was one problem. No one heard Debbie Starbuck's voice again. For nearly 3 years, her family believed she was alive, traveling across different countries with her husband. The emails continued, giving everyone hope that she was safe. What they didn't know was that those messages were hiding a devastating truth. By the time police uncovered what had really happened, investigators would describe the case as one of deception, financial exploitation, and murder. This is the verified story of Debbie Starbuck. Debbie Starbuck was 44 years old and lived in Nottingham, England. She worked as a self-employed proofreader, a job that required patience, accuracy, and close attention to detail. According to her family and friends, Debbie was intelligent, kind, and independent. She loved meeting new people, learning new things, and embracing new experiences. Those who knew her described her as loyal and caring, someone who always made time for the people she loved. Several years before the events of this case, Debbie experienced the loss of her mother. Following her mother's death, she inherited approximately £150,000, giving her financial stability and the freedom to plan for the future. At the time, the inheritance simply represented security. No one imagined it would later become a key part of a murder investigation. In July 2009, Debbie met Jamie Starbuck, a 36-year-old man, through an internet dating website. Their relationship moved quickly. Within about 9 months, the couple decided to get married. To Debbie's family, the relationship appeared genuine. They believed she had found someone with whom she wanted to build a future. In April 2010, Debbie and Jamie were married at West Bridgford Register Office in Nottinghamshire. Like any wedding day, it was expected to mark the beginning of a new chapter filled with hope and happiness. Instead, investigators would later conclude that it marked the beginning of one of Nottinghamshire's most disturbing murder cases. Only days after the wedding, Jamie told family and friends that he and Debbie had left the United Kingdom to travel the world together. At first, nothing about the story seemed unusual. Debbie had always enjoyed new experiences, and traveling abroad sounded like something she would genuinely do. Soon, emails from Debbie's account began arriving in the inboxes of her friends and relatives. The messages described a woman who appeared happy, excited, and eager to share her travels. Everyone believed them. No one suspected that behind those emails was a carefully constructed deception. For a short time, Jamie Starbuck's explanation appeared believable. He told friends and relatives that he and Debbie had left the United Kingdom shortly after their wedding to travel around the world. Knowing Debbie's adventurous personality, no one initially questioned the story. Then the emails began to arrive. Messages sent from Debbie's email account described a woman who seemed happy, optimistic, and excited about life abroad. They spoke about traveling and reassured family members that everything was going well. To the people who loved Debbie, the emails felt genuine. They believed she was simply enjoying a new life with her husband. But as the weeks turned into months, something didn't feel right. Although emails continued to appear, Debbie herself had completely disappeared from everyday life. There were no phone calls, no video chats, no visits home, no conversations with close friends. For someone who had always valued her relationships, the silence was becoming increasingly difficult to explain. Her family and friends tried to accept that she wanted privacy while traveling, but the lack of direct contact continued to trouble them. The longer it continued, the more unusual it became. Eventually, one of Debbie's friends decided the situation could no longer be ignored and contacted Nottinghamshire police to report concerns about her welfare. Detectives faced a difficult situation. Debbie was an adult, and there was no immediate evidence proving she had come to harm. According to Jamie's account, she had simply chosen to travel overseas. However, experienced investigators knew that missing person cases often depended on small details. As officers began reviewing the available information, they noticed several inconsistencies. The emails appeared to keep Debbie's family reassured, but they also achieved something else. They discouraged people from reporting her missing sooner. As detectives continued gathering evidence, they looked beyond the messages themselves. They examined Debbie's financial activity, her communication history, and Jamie's actions after the wedding. Piece by piece, the story Jamie had presented began to fall apart. Investigators soon discovered evidence suggesting that someone had gone to considerable effort to create the illusion that Debbie was still alive. The woman everyone believed was traveling the world had vanished without a trace, and the emails that had offered comfort to her loved ones would soon become one of the most important pieces of evidence in a murder investigation. Detectives from Nottinghamshire police began examining every aspect of Debbie Starbuck's life after her reported disappearance. At first, the evidence was limited. There was no body, there were no eyewitnesses, and there was nothing that clearly proved Debbie had been murdered. But experienced investigators knew that major cases are often solved by following the evidence, one piece at a time. One of the first areas they examined was Debbie's financial activity. Bank records revealed that money from Debbie's accounts continued to be withdrawn after she had supposedly left the United Kingdom. Investigators traced those transactions and discovered that Jamie Starbuck had been using Debbie's money while traveling around the world. Investigators traced those transactions and discovered that Jamie Starbuck had been using Debbie's money while traveling around the world. Over the course of his travels, investigators determined that he spent nearly £65,000 belonging to Debbie. The financial records raised an important question. If Debbie was traveling with Jamie, why was there no independent evidence showing that she was controlling her own finances? Detectives soon uncovered another significant detail. Jamie had previously helped Debbie set up her online banking accounts. As a result, investigators believed he knew her passwords and had access to her financial information. Police also learned that after the wedding, Jamie had gradually isolated Debbie from many of the people closest to her. Meanwhile, specialists carried out a detailed examination of the emails that had been sent from Debbie's account. The messages had seemed reassuring to her family, but forensic analysis identified inconsistencies that suggested Debbie had not written them herself. Instead of proving she was alive, the emails increasingly appeared to be part of a deliberate effort to convince friends and relatives that she was still traveling abroad. As detectives continued their investigation, they tracked Jamie's movements after he left Britain. His journey stretched across multiple continents, including Europe, Southeast Asia, Africa, North America, Central America, South America, and the Middle East. Throughout those travels, investigators believed he was living off Debbie's money while maintaining the false impression that she was still alive. Detective Chief Inspector Rob Griffin, who led the investigation, later said Jamie had carefully engineered the situation to benefit financially from Debbie's disappearance. According to the investigation, Jamie not only had access to Debbie's banking information, but had also encouraged her to become increasingly withdrawn from friends before she vanished. By now, the investigation had changed completely. What had started as a missing person inquiry was becoming something far more serious. The financial evidence, the fake emails, and Jamie's actions after the wedding were all pointing detectives in the same direction. But investigators still needed one critical piece of evidence. They needed to find Jamie. For more than 2 years, Debbie Starbuck remained outside the United Kingdom. While detectives continued building their case, they also tracked his movements across several countries. Their investigation followed a trail of financial records, travel activity, and digital evidence that steadily strengthened their suspicions. Then, in January 2013, the investigation reached a turning point. After spending more than 2 years traveling overseas, Jamie returned to the United Kingdom from Peru. On January 19, 2013, officers from Nottinghamshire Police arrested him at Heathrow Airport. During the arrest, detectives found 2 of Debbie Starbuck's bank cards in Jamie's wallet. The discovery immediately reinforced investigators' belief that he had continued using Debbie's finances long after she had disappeared. Police then examined Jamie's laptop. Investigators found one of the most significant pieces of evidence in the entire case. Stored on the computer was a written confession in which Jamie admitted killing Debbie. For detectives who had spent years trying to uncover the truth, the confession confirmed what the evidence had been pointing toward. According to the prosecution, Debbie was killed approximately 8 days after the couple married in April 2010. Although investigators were never able to determine the exact cause of her death, they concluded that Jamie had taken extensive steps to conceal the crime. The court heard that after killing Debbie, Jamie dismembered her body and burned her remains at their home in Old Basford, Nottingham. Despite extensive searches and Jamie's admissions, Debbie's remains were never recovered. The years of uncertainty had finally come to an end. Debbie had never been traveling the world. The emails sent from her account had created an illusion that kept her family believing she was alive, while the truth had been hidden for nearly 3 years. When the case came before Nottingham Crown Court, Debbie Starbuck admitted murdering Debbie and disposing of her body. Prosecutors argued that his actions were driven by financial gain, pointing to Debbie's inheritance and the money he spent after her disappearance. During the investigation, police also discovered an unsent email written by Jamie that contained a chilling statement. "I had planned for it to be quick. I never expected you to be so durable." That message became one of the most disturbing pieces of evidence presented during the case. With Jamie's guilty plea, the court now had to decide an appropriate sentence for a crime that investigators and prosecutors described as exceptionally cruel. On July 19th, 2013, Debbie Starbuck appeared before Nottingham Crown Court for sentencing. After hearing the evidence, Mr. Justice Michael Stokes, QC, described the murder as one of the most horrifying cases he had encountered during his judicial career. Debbie Starbuck was sentenced to life imprisonment and ordered to serve a minimum term of 30 years before becoming eligible to apply for parole. During sentencing, the judge condemned not only the murder itself, but also the deliberate deception that followed. For nearly 3 years, Jamie had allowed Debbie's family to believe she was alive. While they waited for phone calls that never came and read emails they believed Debbie had written, the truth had already been hidden. The judge also spoke about the way Jamie disposed of Debbie's body. He noted that Debbie came from a strict Jewish family, where cremation is contrary to religious tradition. Addressing Jamie directly, he said, "You knew she came from a strict Jewish background, where cremation is wholly outside their tradition. You dismembered her body and burned it. Even in death, you stripped her of all dignity." The court heard that Jamie's actions had denied Debbie's loved ones the opportunity to recover her remains or give her the funeral they believed she deserved. For her family, the conviction answered the question of what had happened to Debbie, but it could never erase the pain of learning that she had been dead for almost 3 years, while they believed she was safely traveling abroad. Speaking on behalf of the family, Beth Jones described the emotional devastation caused by the deception. She said, "There are so many things about this that are almost impossible to bear. The unbelievable and shocking fact that she is dead, has been dead for so long, and we didn't even know. For nearly 3 years, we thought we were communicating with her, living with the illusion that she was alive and happy and traveling around the world with Jamie." She also said the family continued to be haunted by the suffering Debbie may have endured before her death. Although Jamie Starbuck admitted responsibility for the murder, one heartbreaking fact has never changed. Debbie Starbuck's remains have never been found. That means her family has never had the chance to lay her to rest or say a final goodbye. Today, Debbie is remembered not for the cruelty of the crime, but for the life she lived before it. For Debbie's family, however, justice could never fully replace what was taken from them. The emails stopped. The truth was finally uncovered, but the loss they continue to carry will remain long after the case itself has faded from the headlines. Thank you for watching. If you found this documentary informative, please subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications for more true crime stories.